Hi, welcome to today's reflection. I'm Sue and I'm reading from the end of Acts 15 to the beginning of Acts 16. After some days, Paul said to Barnabas, "Come, let us return and visit the believers in every city where we proclaim the word of the Lord, and let's see how they are doing." Barnabas wanted to take with them John, called Mark, but Paul decided not to take with them one who had deserted them in Pamphylia and had not accompanied them in the work. The disagreement became so sharp that they parted company. Barnabas took Mark with him and sailed away to Cyprus, but Paul chose Silas and set out, the believers commending him to the grace of the Lord. He went through Syria and Cilicia, strengthening the churches. Paul also went on to Derbe and Lystra, where there was a disciple named Timothy, the son of a Jewish woman, who was a believer, but his father was a Greek. He was well spoken of by the believers in Lystra and Iconium. Paul wanted Timothy to accompany him, and he took him and had him circumcised because of the Jews who were there in those places, for they all knew that his father was a Greek. As they went from town to town, they delivered to them for observance the decisions that had been reached by the apostles and the elders who were in Jerusalem. So the churches were strengthened in the faith and increased in numbers daily. There is a philosophy in teaching that goes, I do, you watch. I do, you help. You do, I help. You do, I watch. You do, someone else watches. If we look at the relationship between Barnabas and Paul, it seems a good summary of their work together. Barnabas was Paul's mentor and sponsor. They were such good friends with respect and affection between them. However, there comes a point when sponsor and mentor and pupil have to separate. And I'm wondering if this disagreement between them about Mark and whether Mark should go on to the next journey was that point where it was decided that perhaps Paul needed to go it alone. In terms of going alone without Barnabas. I suppose the other question at this point is, did Barnabas need to leave Paul, who was now really capable and successful in performing miracles, and go off and mentor Mark more concisely? There are so many times in life when we have to let go with love. Sometimes the friendship has run its course, or we need something more from the job. A more challenging role is needed. The other one is when our faith needs to be dropped by our children. They need to reject our faith and go off and find their own. Each one of these changes involves us re-evaluating how we move forward. In this case, Paul and Barnabas, who still thought highly of each other, but the implications is that they never worked together again, although in the future chapters and books, Paul speaks quite affectionately of Barnabas several times. It strikes me that by separating, they were able to do double God's work. By going in two different directions and teaching others, they were able to increase the number of people that they were able to convert and let know the beauty of the story of Jesus Christ. But it did involve a little bit of anger. It got sharp. Anger isn't damaging, it's normal, it's vital, it's essential, and even Jesus became angry. But it's what we do with it that creates the damage. Our angry behaviour can heal or destroy. A vicious put down, an ill-considered text badly affects both parties. In this situation with Paul and Barnabas, it seems they've had their disagreement, they've had their sharpness, they've moved away into different scenarios, but actually they are still fond and supportive of each other. Anger can heal. I have a relationship that's been badly damaged and the other party is acting to cause hurt. And it occurred to me in looking at my behaviours around this relationship that I was behaving in a similar way back. As I got angry because I was hurt, I turned round and I was being hurtful. Because I looked at the situation, I realised that the other party's behaviour merely reflected my own, and it was not pleasant to realise. This anger had made me look at my own behaviour, and the insight I discovered had allowed me to heal. David talked yesterday how we are quite happy to list the negatives, and the healing part is if we look on the positives. Once I looked on the anger and the behaviour, once we stop being angry, we can possibly concentrate on the positives. We can enjoy what was in the friendship. We can enjoy the newness of the promotion. And we can, as I did by looking at my role, allow healing for both of us. I think Barnabas and Paul are examples of realising that sometimes you can't work together, live together, and that we can get angry with each other. But after that, we can still respect each other and each other's work. And I think God will take that as the compromise. I hope you have a lovely, calm and healing day. Bye-bye for now.